We came to the Luberon for the lavender fields and got a historical drama instead. So traces of secret rituals and mystical burial grounds that historians are still guessing about.
Not
After this
all.
video, you will look at the beauty of Provence differently. But let's start at the beginning. We rented a room at Abbaye Saint-Eusèbe, 11th century, and it feels remote, like you have driven into the middle of nowhere. Look! But the trick is that Sagnon village is right above it. Abt, the central hub of Luberon, is few minutes down the road. The abbey hides in its own quiet valley. One part of the abbey is closed off, used for weddings, and the other part belongs to Christophe, and he rents out rooms. The price is surprisingly affordable for what you get. I will leave the link in the description. Every morning, Christophe was preparing a small petit déjeuner, fresh coffee, fresh bread, homemade jam, and we sat looking out at lavender fields that were not blooming yet and planned the day. Chiron had forest roads to run right next to Abbaye every morning. Our first destination place was for the Buoux, or the Buoux. That's complicated pronunciation.
This place was used as a fortification for generations of people in a different epoch, different centuries, for like 3,000 to 4,000 years. Can you imagine?
For thousands of years, people who had nowhere else to go climbed up this rock. Neanderthals, Celto-Ligurians, Waldensians, Huguenots. Every generation of hunted ended up here. And the reason is simple.
Because of it's done in the way that it can serve itself. So there we have seen the tanks of water, and those tanks, I don't know, they probably were designed to collect water or something.
Probably the water will go up to this level, the level of the stone here. So you see it's big, there's a big amount up to the level of stone.
Ah, yeah, I see.
And then there's this carving, and you see there's tiny holes there
Yeah.
for the water to flow. So the guys, they can collect. And there is this arch to keep the water fresh, to have some air to keep it cool.
Then, somewhere there, we haven't found it yet still, there is a ladder to the river that goes from this rock to down below.
A secret staircase carved into the cliff allowed people to leave the fortress unnoticed if it fell. And the last defenders were able to slip down into the valley before the attackers above realized they were gone.
L'escalier que vous voyez là, creusé dans la roche.
Oh wow!
Wow! Entre deux écailles rocheuses, between two cracks. So that's very amazing and impressive. Il y a beaucoup de personnes qui s'assoient dans les marches. Parce que c'est très impressionnant. Au bout de la troisième marche, on aperçoit un peu le sol et c'est ouh. Mais, vous voyez, le monsieur a dit, on y est arrivé. C'est l'aventure. Voilà.
So guys, this is the access to the stairs. For this adventure, I'm alone. Natasha decided to not take the stairs because she's very afraid of heights.
No, you got it all wrong. It was not me who was afraid of hate, it was Monsieur Chiron. And naturally, as a loyal friend, I could not abandon him in such a stressful situation. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Need to go super slow. So far it's well protected, so it's not that scary. So I guess this is the impressive part right there.
Louis XIV was extremely unhappy about the existence of this fortress because it was a symbol of resistance. So that's why he tried to destroy it completely. So maybe that's why part of the side walls on this ladder were missing.
was hidden in the rock, but then some part fell, and this is how the stairs got discovered. Some houses carved in the stone here, very interesting, with a beautiful view on the valley.
Although I couldn't bring myself to walk down this absolutely wonderful staircase, perched on the edge of a cliff with no walls, no railings, and apparently no concern for human survival, I did manage to find us accommodation where we wouldn't have to pay any rent. Let me show you.
It's a 2-room apartment with the basement to keep your things, so it's like an additional storage, or maybe someone can live in there. This is the 2nd room. As you can see, they are quite spacious, a lot of air, you see? So you probably won't need air conditioning here.
The neighbors are very quiet too.
Absolutely, neighbors are absolutely quiet. They are mostly dead. That's a catch.
Those holes in the rock may not look impressive at first, but they were actually grain silos. The fort has at least 19 of them. In the times of war, food was every bit as important as walls and weapons, and the grain stored here could help the entire community to survive a long siege.
Thank you. Thank you for capturing my face. The big one was laughing on my butt sitters, on my papasitka. You see? But that's the best invention for travelers because of you. It's very light. You can attach it to your butt, and then you can walk with it, and then you can sit whenever you like.
After Fort de Buoux, we decided to go to some mysterious place named Carluc. This place is famous by miraculous spring and the tombs that are carved right in the rock. So first we went looking for the spring. The outside we couldn't find anything that looked like a sacred spring. It turned out that the spring should be inside the chapel, but this chapel, well, what's left from the chapel was closed for visitors, so you cannot get inside, and therefore you could not see that miraculous spring. And that was a shame because of archaeologists were saying that this is a kind of object of a druidic cult long before Christianity.
Yes, Chiro, that's almost for you, considering that you're a little horse.
And then we went to look for the graves cut in the rock. And in the pictures it was shown as the grave's anthropomorphic shape carved right in the rock. So we were walking there trying to find something that can look like what was on the picture, and we couldn't find anything, literally. When we were already about to leave, and then I looked down and I saw that there are strange grooves, and I was thinking what they are. And then it hit me.
There are sarcophages.
Yes.
This is like in the shape of human shape. Look, and this is kids. Yeah, there are like kids, babies, whatever.
When I was filming, I noticed a very weird detail. Right above the burials were remains of 2 thick white candles, burned almost all the way down. I have no idea when they were lit or who put them here. What made it feel especially odd was archaeologists are still arguing who is buried in this ground. These graves are over 1,000 years old. Whatever memories once existed have long since disappeared. So who was lighting candles here and why? Were they simply paying their respects to people whose names have been forgotten? Or they performing some kind of ritual? But when I spotted those candles above the graves, this is when the chill went down my spine. Let me know what you think in the comments. Later, when we went back home, I decided to learn more about this place, and here's what I found. Carluc was not just a priory. For centuries, it was a major burial site. Archaeologists believe that a highly revered early Christian saint was buried here, and people wanted to be laid to rest as close to that holy figure as possible. Over time, the entire area became a vast necropolis. And looking back, many of the features we had interpreted as places where people might have lived or prayed or slept were actually connected to burials.
You could put the candles or the icons, the stuff here.
It's a fascinating story, a sad one, and if I'm honest, a slightly unsettling one. What I found most intriguing is the saint himself. Who was this person whose presence drew people here for centuries? Could it have been one of those saints that we know today, but whose burial place has been lost? What do you think? I'd love to hear your theories in the comments. We left Carluc quiet. Some places give you answers, and this one gave us better questions. More episodes coming: hidden villages, abandoned bridges, and the abbey with a story that I still cannot quite believe. If that sounds like your kind of trip, stick around.